Hey there. I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of How to Paint Like a Feminist. And if this is your first time joining us, I'd cordially like to invite you to pull up a chair and press pause on your racist Joe Rogan podcast and come take a gander at what we're about to create together, a happy little racist painting. But before we get started and before we get canceled, I'd like to just tell everybody that if YouTube decides to pull this video, you can find us over on Rumble at that link down below. Give it a little click and make sure you check out our Telegram chat room because they don't censor us over there. We really appreciate it. All right, so I'm gonna have my handy dandy producer run the colors across the bottom of the screen. We're gonna have racist red, build back better blue. Try saying that 3 times fast. Maybe if you take a Delta 8 from Shell Shock CBD, you probably could. Link below. They banned us for promoting that. It's my company, but fuck those nerds. Oh, yeah, BLM black, and then, of course, purveyors of good, purple. So let's get started. All right, so our first color we're gonna use is Build Back Better Blue. But if you've been watching the news, you know that fell flat on its ass like Tess Holliday on some roller skates. Moving on. All right, so our first colors we're gonna use are some racist red and some BLM black. Kind of like racist red with those truckers up there in Canada protesting these vaccine mandates that they claim are just unlawful and oppressive, and yet Prime Minister Justin Trudeau sits there and turns around and says they're racist. If I was Justin Trudeau, how would I paint like a racist? I'll have to come back to that one. You know what? We'll probably just stick with red. So we're gonna take a nice thick layer of this racist red and we're gonna do it on the top portion of this painting, and don't forget we put a nice thick coat of white privilege on this before we got started. Gonna go across the top there, just spreading all that racist red out there because apparently everything these days is just racist again, you know, everything is racist. So we're gonna spread a lot of this racism here, you know, of course, just like how GoFundMe has $10 million raised for the Canadian truck driver movement, and boop, they're racist. Or now they're occupiers. That's kind of funny to me, but, you know, that's just the way the liberal mind works. And what's worse is they're Canadian, so who really understands what the hell those snow Mexicans are thinking? We're gonna make sure we spread this racism red out nice and thick there, because after all, there has to be a lot of racism for people to whine about. Kind of like the whole N-word being used and why they're trying to cancel Joe Rogan right now. It's not about racism. It's the fact that Joe Rogan has higher ratings than CNN and Fox and all MSN put together. And the fact that Joe Rogan likes to play center aisle and get opinions from both sides, well, networks like CNN and Brian Stelter, who probably got bullied a lot in school, just, they don't like the idea of having somebody outshine them and bust out their misinformation. So therefore, let's cancel him. Oh wait, you can't cancel him, he's too big. So what's the next step? That's right, racism. And you sit there and you demand an apology for Joe Rogan dropping the N-word, not in a racial context, and then you turn around and you say nothing when black hip-hop artists have been doing it for years upon years. No problem there. Or you can even call out the Young Turks when they do the exact same thing Joe Rogan did. But you know what they're saying right now? They don't care. And you know what? I agree with them. What world do we live in that I agree with the Young Turks? I'm gonna go kill myself. You got people like Snoop Dogg coming out there and playing the NFL Super Bowl halftime, and he's dropped the N-word so many times, and yet you liberals say nothing, because again, you won't touch black people that say it, and you can't use that excuse that it's an ER versus an A. It's the same word. You just use it as a badge of honor, and you've used it like that for years. But then, when a white person says it in the exact same manner you do, you get offended. No, you don't get to own or police speech. You either abandon it altogether, or you accept the fact that other people are gonna use it. Kind of like how Eric Adams, the black mayor of New York City, drops the C word. Not a thing happens to him. Where's the outrage? There isn't any. Because you really don't care about racism, because racism is racism across the board, be it black, white, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. It only matters when it's against black people, or the perception is against black people. Talk about black fragility. Write about that in your books on CRT. And of course, you know, we talk about big tech censoring people and trying to squash their voices and such, and I just had my Instagram account banned again, and my new one now is JohnBerg11B. You can find me over there. They keep banning me and I keep coming back. I'm kind of like a cockroach for just creeping out of the shadows and making these wonderful masterpieces to make you laugh, but sure enough, one of these days they're gonna come after me as well. But the difference between me and most other people is I don't give a shit what you think. Cancel this dick. I'd like to point out another thing here. When black co-host on The View, Whoopi Goldberg, goes out there and tries to deflect blame on the Holocaust to fellow white people as if it somehow makes black people look less violent, well, people instantly call for her to be fired from The View. Why? She's expressing an opinion, and I might not agree with it, but she's entitled to have that opinion. But if you want to squish dissenting perspectives, then what is it that you're really trying to do? Just like you've done with this whole outbreak of the you-know-what we can't say, it's all about control. It was never about actual saving lives, because if it was, they would have been preaching to get in shape, go outdoors, eat healthy, not sit around on your couch and jerk your butt to Gal Gadot singing "We're in this together" or "Just Imagine." But then again, you don't want to hear the truth. You want to hear what makes you feel good. So let me go play some John Legend where he tries to liberalize. I really can't stay because baby it's cold outside. Yeah, that's where we're at now. We have to dumb down Christmas songs and things like that because people are so offended to hear a word. Well, I've got news for you, and this is the truth. There's always going to be racist people. There's always going to be misogynists. There's always going to be evil people in this world so long as ignorance exists. And the more that you talk about it, and the more that you say it, regardless of which color you are, the more power you give it. But the way to take the power away from it is what Dave Chappelle has done, and you make fun of it, and you laugh, and you move on, and you don't try and regulate speech just because it goes against what you don't like. And guess what? Free speech includes racists. As much as I don't like that, and as much as I don't like flag burning, that's what it comes down to, and you don't get to cherry pick the freedoms that come down to everyday Americans and what they want to do and what they want to say. So of course, you are allowed to say whatever it is that you want to say, but you also face the repercussions of your actions. And when it comes down to cancel culture, they don't care about racism. If they did, they will hold every single person accountable, but they don't. All it really comes down to is that this outraged woke Twitter mob, they just want corporate America to bend the knee to promote whatever ideologies they have. I got news for you. I don't care what's between your legs, and I don't care what your pronouns are. You're an American. Act like it. Oh, and what I absolutely love is you Canadian police that are trying to flex on those Canadian truckers. You sit there and you screamed back the blue when the BLM was coming after you, and the majority of Americans supported you. But just like those officers in the NYPD and all over these states enforcing these tyrannical lockdowns, then you scream for our support and you turn your backs on us and the Constitution to follow the mandates, which are not laws, by these elected officials that, quite honestly, had they been in olden times, would have been strung up and tarred and feathered. But hey, let's back that blue blindly and see where that takes us. It's not me saying I hate the police. That's me saying the cops out there that don't stand for the Constitution, we're not on the same side. Remember that. You're tyrants with a badge. I hope you understand the point that I'm trying to make. But unfortunately, it's going to fall on a lot of deaf, stupid ears out there because a lot of people on the internet, I don't know how you haven't been taken out by Darwinism. In fact, I don't know how half of you even tie your shoes. I go on Twitter and it's like, did we take stupid pills today? I don't know. Follow my Twitter down below. Moving on. All right, for our little trick here, we're gonna do a little something different that we've never done before. We're gonna pull a little sneaky on you. We're gonna do like I like to call a little Kristen cinema. We're gonna flip it. Oh, that got you liberals fired up, nice and hot. Manchin and Cinema come out there and they destroy your little narrative and your build back better, but what is it that you want to build back that you liberals have already destroyed? Look at predominantly all these blue cities that are ran by Democrats. Crime is up, shootings are up. Beetlejuice looking Lori Lightfoot out there. You have shootings rampant in your city. We're not going to talk about that black crime, because if we do, we're racist. Oh boy, I'm getting canceled. Worth it. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue using a little bit more of this racist red, and we're going to start off by making a nice little line. Draw the line there, come down with it here, make a little fanning motion. Now, speaking of motions, I saw that Peppermint Patty, aka Jen Psaki, talked about how the Biden administration says that Spotify should censor Joe Rogan. That's literally the government saying that a private business should censor an individual American citizen. Leftists, let me explain something to you. That's the very definition of fascism. So for all those people out there attacking that pastor Greg Locke for all the book burnings he's doing, not that I agree with that, but you're exactly the same way when you try and censor people from speaking their mind and speaking their opinion. It's kind of funny how that works. So liberals, you can't sit there and say you're for pro-First Amendment and freedom of speech when you're calling for people to be censored because they say things that make your boo-boo hurt. That's the way it works. But again, you're so easily triggered that me even saying gun probably sends you running into your safe space. Or, if I misgender you, there's only two. Okay, we're gonna come back up here, make some more pretty little outlines there. Put that right there. That looks nice and pretty. All that racist red. All those racist truckers that are so racist because, well, I mean, you know what they say. When it's voting season, it's racist season because that's just what liberals do. Everything is racist. Ah, there we go. I'm racist, you're racist, everybody's racist. We're gonna add some spikes to this thing. If you haven't guessed by now, you pretty much know what we're making. It's like a little Canadian throwing star. Oh, that's beautiful right there. Love me some Canadians. Your pizza sucks, but whatever. Did I say pizza? I meant Prime Minister. Ah, there we go. It's almost like a little racist marijuana leaf. Legalize it. So, alrighty, we have it right there. It's our finished masterpiece, and all we have to add now is our secret ingredient, black privilege. Oh yeah, it exists. Well, how about that? Looky there, Ralph Northam 2.0, and you liberals didn't even cancel him. Still waiting to hear you cancel Howard Stern for his blackface and literally dropping the N-bomb multiple times. But again, you won't touch them and you won't go near them or black hip-hop artists because it's not really about racism, it's about selective outrage. You're all full of shit. If you like this painting, we're going to be giving it away for those that sign up to our email list on allamericансavageshow.com. We're going to keep your emails, we won't sell them, but it's so we can have a way of communicating with you before we're canceled. Once again, that is allamericансavageshow.com. And I actually have a lot of paintings in the vault, so we're going to be giving them away. Make sure you follow me on Telegram, and you check out my Twitter at Sergeant Savage and Instagram at JohnBurke11B. Appreciate you, love you, stay racist. Not really, but you know what I mean.